Jigsaw, we got a new king at Gore in town. Hail to the king, baby.
Hello and welcome to my review of Evil Dead.
Evil Dead centers on 5 young people who head up to a cabin in the woods to help their friend and recovering drug addict, Mia, played by Jane Levy, go through her withdrawal period. Things are going well enough, despite some drama with her brother and all that MTV intervention stuff, when all of a sudden 2 of the nitwits go down in the cellar, find a room full of dead cats, and of course the evil Book of the Dead, which one of the dumbasses reads and unleashes a whole plethora of demons upon our kids, and therefore we have our movie. Now, I haven't seen most of the original Evil Dead movies. I've seen the first one, but the other 2, which are much more well-regarded and loved by fans, I have not seen. But I really do love the original Sam Raimi Evil Dead. I thought it was a very fun movie, and I was looking forward to see how it would be updated for modern times, but I was also skeptical, because as we've seen with Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, a modern updating is not always the best thing. However, I'm happy to say that Evil Dead is highly successful at updating the original. What really sets this movie apart from the original is the aesthetic and the tone. Now, a lot of people are worried about this movie being a lot more serious and morose, but I have to say, that's really what gets this film going for me. Because in the original, it is serious, but it's got a very kind of campy 80s feel to it, where in a way it just kind of feels like a silly movie. This movie does have some campy elements. There's some dark humor thrown in there, but it's very morose, very macabre. It just seems to take the subject matter just a little bit more seriously, to where there's really a great sense of danger here, and the gore, which I'll get to in a minute, only adds to that. The performances by the actors are what you'd expect, kind of blasé characters, but who really stands out here is Jane Levy as Mia. Man, does she throw herself into this performance. It's incredible to watch her character go through all these different changes, because she's possessed by the demon early on in the film, and it would be very easy for an actress to really go for the camp value for the performance, but she really throws herself into it and gives it 100%. I've never seen this actress before. In fact, I have no idea what she's been in previously, but she really impressed me here, and I hope she's in more things, as well as the sequel to this movie, hopefully. This movie, rather surprisingly, is expertly directed by a guy named Fede Alvarez, and I'm sorry if I butchered that name. He's a guy who, from what I understand, mainly has a background in short films, but man, did he just bring an incredible visual sensibility and style to this film. Like I mentioned before, his cinematography is graphic and dark and beautiful. Every shot in this movie just looks great on an artistic level, and also he really knows how to build tension without relying entirely on jump scares, and mainly, oh boy does he film the gore in this movie. Jesus H. Christ, I've never seen so much gore in a movie in my life. This is the type of movie to where normally you'd see an arm get amputated and they'd cut away and let you kind of imagine it, which for the most part works. Not this director. This director's like, nuh-uh, you're gonna see it, and you're gonna see every single graphic detail of it. And for a movie like this, where you've got these campy elements, to feel the pain of every single sharp object that goes into a character really actually adds to the tension, because you feel every single thing that happens to these characters. And from what I understand, 99% of the effects in this movie are practical, and it really helps. If I had any problems with this movie, it's really just kind of typical horror movie stuff. The characters themselves are just not well written. They're just dumbasses for the most part. Even Mia, to a certain extent, is kind of dumb, and therefore you don't really attach yourself to them, so when they die, it's not so much that you care about the characters so much as just the situation is so intense that you feel it, and I wish that it was the other way around. The other problem is that I just wish that they had veered off from the original Evil Dead formula a little more. They managed to take the original template for the movie and do some pretty original stuff with it, but at the same time, if they had just had, at the very least, a different location, it would have just made the thing feel a lot more like its own thing instead of just a movie leeching off of Evil Dead. And while it doesn't do that too much to the point where it gets irritating, I feel like they just could have veered off the reservation a little more. Overall, as a regular horror movie, Evil Dead knocks it out of the park completely. It's tense, it's scary, it's well directed, and for the most part it's better acted than most regular horror movies. As a remake of Evil Dead, it does a pretty good job, but it doesn't quite live up to the original. But that's beside the point. This is a very scary and very well-made film that I highly recommend you see. 3 stars out of 4. And that was my review of Evil Dead. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. You can also request a review. And until next time, I'm Michael Fairbanks. See you later.
Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.